In the previous video, I mentioned that I spent over $354,076 on link building in 2022. In that video, I covered the top 8 link building agencies that I've worked with since 2016. In this video, I want to go over not the best link building agencies, but if you decide to work with a link building agency, any of the ones from my list or different ones, how do you make sure you don't get ripped off? Why you should actually be moving away from link building agencies in 2023, and what you should be doing instead to grow rank and traffic to your website or blog in 2023. So that's what we're going to cover in today's video. Let me just jump back into my screen here and get right to it. So first thing, how to avoid getting scammed. So first things first, you have to understand, and in the previous video I mentioned this, that every link agency is probably pulling links from the same list of websites, because every link agency basically will go out to the internet, email everybody and be like, hey, would you place a link on your website for money? That's pretty much how every link agency works. And then for the websites that say yes, then they put them on this giant backlink spreadsheet. And when you, the customer, goes to a link agency and is like, hey, build links to my site, they're like, sure, pay us some money. And then they go to their list and then just says, hey, guy or girl, I got a client, can you place this link? And that's kind of how the whole thing works. So you have to be aware of that and go into it knowing like, hey, I don't want links that everyone's getting. And that's kind of the idea behind my blacklist. And the blacklist, which you can get if you go to shanedutka.com/blacklist, is a list of over 11,000 websites that I've found and amalgamated into one big list that is every website that I know is selling links. Now, some of these websites have traffic, and that's you might be like, Shane, hey, like it has traffic, it must be great, right? No, not always. And the reason is because my theory is that Google will not devalue the links pointing to a website that is the link farm, but devalue the links that it's giving. So you might find a site with like 100,000 traffic, and that site is like a link farm basically. And my take on that is basically the links that the site is giving out are toxic or tainted or they give no value. Basically, some of the websites in this list are going to have traffic, and that's okay. Like Good Men Project, I know that one is a site that has traffic, but I also do want a link from it because I know that the links that this site is giving are bad and they're being paid for constantly. So I don't want to be affiliated with them. And by giving a blacklist to an agency, you're like saying, hey, I don't want these links. So then the ones that are remaining, you'd be like, I want those. And if those are bad, then you just don't work with the agency, right? So you always start a relationship with a link building agency by giving them your blacklist and saying, I don't want any links on this list. If you can't do that, then we just shouldn't work together. Another thing that I want you to do if you're working with a link building agency is get a sample of links. And I mentioned this just a minute ago, but you always want a sample of 10 links so that you can get a feeling. And honestly, what I would do is not even give the agency the blacklist first. I would have them give you their sample list and then compare it to the blacklist. And if all the links are from the blacklist, then that's a signal that this is probably not the right agency for you to work with. Now, Link Builder IO did this for me, and they're a fine agency, and they're doing decent, and they scored okay on my scoring. But a bunch of their links were on my blacklist, so I was like, I don't want to work with an agency like this. I'm not trying to dump on their business, but at the end of the day, like if I'm building links to my website, I have to be careful about the websites that I associate my site with, and if they're on the blacklist, it's not going to work out. So one that I like to frequently use as a model of like a classic example of a bad website is like Optimistic Mommy. You can see here that if you go to Ahrefs, pull them up, and then go to linked domains, you can see that they've linked out to websites 22,000 times. And at the same time, if you were to pull them up in Ahrefs, they have like 4,000, 5,000 organic traffic. A lot of agencies that I've worked with are like, hey, like, this website has 1,000 traffic. That's great, right? I'm like, no, it's not in a vacuum. Like in a vacuum, it's not great in and of itself. It's good if it's like part of a holistic, like this site has good editorial standards. It links out very consciously to websites that are very relevant to it. In this case, I see Optimistic Mommy linking out to 22,000 websites. And a classic tactic that I'll do is pull up the word casino. And if I see that the links that are leaving this website have a lot of casino links, this is a classic dead giveaway that this site is turned into a link farm, right? So my audit checklist for any time that I'm working with or paying for a link, I'll go through these 16 steps to make sure that the link is not bad. I'm not gonna hit on all of them here, but I'll just hit the highlights. Again, not on the blacklist, ideally. Referring domain to link domain ratio is a greater than 0.6. Greater than 1 is really good. Greater than 0.6 is like the baseline. Basically, the idea behind this is like the links that the website is getting, they have more links pointing to the website than they're giving away. So in the case of Optimistic Mommy, they had 22,000 outbound links, and I think they had about 3,000 inbound links or something like that. So the ratio is like very small. It was very, very small. So you want it to be 0.6. And in fact, you want as many outbound as inbound. So organic traffic above 1,000. I said it before, like in and of itself, traffic is not like, oh yeah, it's got traffic, it's a great link. It's part of the holistic approach that I take for working with links or working with any domain for that matter. Even if they give me a free link, I'm still kind of using this list here to make sure it's a great link. Outbound link profile skewed right. All this means is basically that the DR of the links that the site is linking out to is on the higher end. So if you were to export all the outbound links on this slide, the 22,000, and if you saw that most of the links were like less than DR 30, that's a red flag, right? So that's important to take away. CBD casino links, I already talked about that. Is there a logical fit? Like, does the link actually fit on the site that you're about to place? Anyway, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see here that this is what I check every time I work with a site. So why you should be moving away from agencies. So the big thing about moving away from agencies is that they all, again, get links from the same sites. And the example I have here, HVAC Seer, it's very common for traffic curves to look like this. So a site like HVAC Seer will do a lot of paid link building. They'll get these links from Optimistic Mommy and the rest. They'll get like a burst of traffic, and then they'll just get destroyed because the links they're just buying links, and Google's seeing this and seeing it and basically it's flagging some kind of algorithm that's saying this looks manipulative, devalue the links. Hard to say exactly what's going on. Obviously, I don't know exactly what's happening here, but my theory is that the link profiles of these sites are just full of paid links. Plumbing Lab, I mentioned this one before in previous videos, same thing. If you were to go to the backlink profile, you can see that they have all of these links that are in all of the in my blacklist, full of link farm websites that just constantly are giving out links. You don't want to associate yourself with these websites. So how should you be building links in 2023? So before I get into this, I just want to talk about, like, again, broadly speaking, the right way to do link building in 2023 right now. My best links have come from relationships, full stop. Basically, I've developed enough of a niche, like a reputation in the niche that I'm in, that people in that niche want to do business with me. They like the content on the website. They know that I'm active. They know that I have other things going on, and they're like, hey, like, yeah, like we'll feature your article. Or I may have met people at a conference in my niche, in my industry, and they are okay with doing a guest post because they know me personally. I'm not just some random stranger on the internet. So like things like that are going to be key to really building a blog that's like impossible to unseat and building a really big moat. The second thing in terms of what you should be doing in 2023 is digital PR. Now, this sounds like a lot of work, but it really isn't that hard. It's just a sort of a different way to think about content. So digital PR in a nutshell is just creating an article that's not really meant to make money, but it's really meant to just get links. That's like the only reason it exists. And the difference between like a skyscraper article that's meant to get links and like a digital PR article that's meant to get links is digital PR is more data oriented. It's like a survey. It's like some kind of analysis. It's some kind of first party report that doesn't exist anywhere else on the internet. And the reason that that's important is because you're the only one. So people have to cite you. That's digital PR. And you can see here that this example that I pulled up from Yahoo Finance was from this site. Where is it from? Price Listo. So Price Listo did a digital PR piece, a study on the most expensive fast food chain, Taco Bell, apparently. So they just did a survey, and that's all they did. And then websites like Yahoo Finance will pick up this this study. And then not only that, but generally when you get picked up by Yahoo Finance, it syndicates around the internet, and then you get like hundreds of links because of this. So you can see here that this study that was done, looks like from September to October, so for a year, or they analyzed some kind of data set. They got 2 really strong links from Finger Lakes and USA News, right? These links are not on link agency lists. They can't get them without digital PR. These are the links that will keep your blog around for a long, long time. You can see here that this is basically what their game is, and it's working like gangbusters. They're almost at 1 million traffic in Ahrefs, doing really well. Another example of a site doing really well with digital PR, I know the owner of the site, and I keep an eye on what they're doing because it's just really good work. This is an example of digital PR for most popular large cities to relocate to. This is a moving site. This makes total sense. Not only is this digital PR going to get some links, it's going to get relevant links. It's going to power the growth of this site. It's going to develop, it's going to keep this site making money for the long term. Just a really great example of digital PR done well. And, you might be thinking about your niche, like what could work in your niche? There's so many different ideas, so many different data sources. Census Bureau has tons of data that you can pull from that basically can help power these types of studies. Let me actually pull it up really quick. So I just pulled up the data.census.gov. Now this video is not meant to go deep on here, but this is an entire source of data that is freely available for you to build these types of campaigns. And yeah, they're going to take a little bit longer, maybe a month or 2, but you do one of these a quarter, and you're going to power a really great digital PR campaign, and you're going to build a really great backlink profile. So just wanted to highlight that. And you can see again, Move Buddha is just crushing it, right? DR67, nearly 6,000, 7,000 referring domains. They're in a hyper competitive moving niche. The moving niche is among the most competitive. You can see how valuable this traffic is if they were to try to pay for it with Google Ads, but they're getting it for free because they're doing digital PR. They're doing a great job. So that's all I got for you in this video. If you like this kind of content, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It lets me know that you like the content and I should make more of it. If you have a question, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.